This naturalrefrigerants.com article is being read by an automated voice. New York Grocer DeCicco and Sons to open 9th. CO2 store and first R290 store by Michael Gary. Published April 7th, 2026. DeCicco and Sons, which operates 11 high-end supermarkets in Westchester and Putnam counties, New York, north of New York City, is opening in May its first Connecticut store in Greenwich, its 7th new store to be equipped with transcritical CO2 refrigeration in the past decade, along with 2 converted stores. Only 3 stores remain without CO2, and those will be converted over the next 1 to 2 years, said John DeCicco Jr., CEO of the chain, founded in 1973 and based in Pelham, New York. All CO2 stores use racks from OEM Hill Phoenix, based in Conyers, Georgia, and are certified at the platinum level by GreenChill, a voluntary program run by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The chain's first CO2 system was installed in 2015 in a store in Larchmont, New York, which uses from 7 to 37% less electricity than a similar-sized store using a traditional HFC system. This year, DeCicco and Sons will also be opening its first 10,000 square feet, 929 square meters store. Its other stores are at least 20,000 square feet / 1,858 square meters, under the Piccolino by DeCicco and Sons banner. Here it will test its first propane water loop refrigeration system from the Schweitzer Group, an Italian manufacturer. Walk-in rooms will use CO2 refrigeration. I wanted to be able to change cases and change layouts more freely, and I figured that was a better fit with the water loop system, said DeCicco. The Greenwich store's transcritical CO2 system will employ a boosted direct CO2 heat reclaim and subcooling / dehumidification system provided by Canadian HVAC OEM Flow Energy Solutions. DeCicco's and Sons first installed this system in its year-old CO2 store in Sleepy Hollow, New York. Its other CO2 stores use a passive heat reclaim system, which taps hot CO2 gas to heat a secondary glycol fluid. DeCicco cites numerous benefits of natural refrigerant-based technology. It's the right decision for the environment, and generally it's appreciated by customers. It's the future for sure. He also recognizes that natural refrigerants future-proof DeCicco and Sons against current and future regulations, especially in New York State, which has enacted some of the most ambitious HFC regulations in the U.S. The retailer promotes its environmental initiatives to shoppers in store signage and on its website. But finding adequately skilled technicians is still a challenge, noted DeCicco. I think the CO2 system is just as much a computer as it is a machine, and trying to find mechanics that have the ability to both use a computer and use their hands is very hard to come by. Tour of Sleepy Hollow store. DeCicco and Sons will be hosting a free site visit at its Sleepy Hollow store on June 1st for retailers, contractors, and engineers of record attending the Atmo America Conference, which will take place June 2nd to 3rd in nearby Tarrytown, New York. To register for the tour, click here. DeCicco will discuss the store's transcritical CO2 system and heat reclaim / subcooling / dehumidification technology in a case study session at the conference. The Sleepy Hollow store, 30,000 square feet, 2,787 square meters on the first floor, and 20,000 square feet on the second, employs a CO2 rack with a capacity of 155,500 BTUH, 12.9 tons of refrigeration / 45.4 kilowatts, for low-temperature cases, and 738,100 British thermal units, 61.5 tons of refrigeration / 216.3 kilowatts, for medium-temperature cases. The rack, bathed in colored light, is on display for visitors on the second floor of the store. This store also features a restaurant on the second level, electronic pricing labels from Hoosmon on its Hill Phoenix cases, and, like all of DeCicco's CO2 stores, adiabatic gas coolers. The store also has self-contained R290-based produce cases from JSI, a Maine-based producer of refrigerated display cases. All DeCicco and Sons stores have backup generators, and all CO2 stores stockpile full refrigerant charges and all components, including extra compressors. CO2 stores experience about 1 significant leak per year, and those systems are back within hours, said DeCicco. The Sleepy Hollow store's direct CO2 heat reclaim system diverts hot CO2 gas from rack compressors to the heat reclaim coil, which produces hot air for space heating of the store in the winter, spring, and fall, as well as domestic hot water year-round. The direct system enables the CO2 rack to modulate compressor head pressure in response to a heating demand signal from the heat reclaim coil. The coil resides inside a DOAS plus H vac unit using adaptive multipath technology. Flow has found that its boosted coil can recover 3 times more waste heat from a supermarket's refrigeration system than a standard passive heat reclaim approach. For every kilowatt of extra energy applied to the compressors, 6 kilowatts of heat is generated, for a COP of 6, noted Peter Reist, Director of Product and Sales Strategy for Flow. The Flow unit amplifies the heat reclaim, said DeCicco. During the summer, the Flow system delivers store dehumidification and subcooling for the refrigeration system, leveraging cold air released by cases and captured in return air. DeCicco and Sons has employed a different kind of subcooling technology, a geothermal pre-cooling system, at its CO2 store in Harrison, New York. The geothermal system employs 5 500-foot, 152 meters wells, piped to a heat exchanger on the return line from an adiabatic gas cooler. The wells were constructed in the area around the store. While conventional glycol-based CO2 heat reclaim covers 30 to 40% of the heating load in DeCicco and Sons stores, the direct reclaim system accounts for about 60%, said DeCicco. A conventional CO2 store in Summers, which uses radiant floor heating, also covers 60% of the heating load. He will provide data on energy consumption and savings at the Sleepy Hollow store in a case study presentation with Flow at Atmo America 2026 in June. Considering all of the aspects of a CO2 refrigeration system, including heat reclaim and better controls, makes it in the long run less expensive to operate, said DeCicco. He puts the payback period for the premium on a transcritical CO2 system at 1 to 3 years. Since installing CO2 systems and other energy-saving technologies, DeCicco and Sons has reduced overall energy consumption in its stores by 40%, said DeCicco. He has rooftop solar panels in 3 stores and plans to put them on other stores where space allows. DeCicco is on the board of the FMI, Food Industry Association, and is current chairman of the Food Industry Alliance of New York State. He frequently speaks to local environmental groups and recently hosted all of the village administrators in Westchester County. Local supermarket operators, including chains and independents, come to his stores to learn about CO2 refrigeration. In 2023, Westchester Magazine named DeCicco one of the top CEOs and business leaders in the county.